Hi there everyone, my name is Dr. Peck. I'm going to introduce you to the C and K portions of the HACK model. In education, the traditional methods of teaching, the sage on the stage, are faced with the challenge of a society that is relying more and more on technology. The requirements for the workplace are changing away from an 18th century model to one in which both men and women can work in the same position, and a lot of this change is thanks to technological developments. Work is no longer conditional on physical strength and manual labor in the same ways it used to be. To adapt to the changing workplace, teachers need to reconsider the ways they teach the students to prepare them with a different set of skills. The focus of education is changing from a transfer of information approach to one that focuses on developing the student's capacities as a learner. The best prescribed solution is to properly blend the traditional brick-and-mortar, teacher-directed setting with a student-centered approach, with student-led and teacher-facilitated projects and assignments. This blended approach needs to balance the use of technology while utilizing the facility and accountability of a teacher presence in an actual school. Too little technological usage, and the students don't develop the proper reliance on technology to teach them. Without the accountability in the presence of the teacher, the students may not perform as well as they could otherwise. Project-based learning is a method of applying blended learning. Students are assigned projects with clearly marked objectives and rubrics that outline success. The projects encourage cross-curricular learning opportunities that force the students to rely on resources and technology to accomplish the task. These immersive projects evolve out of the natural curiosity of the students. Traditionally, projects like Oregon Trail were used to celebrate the learning that took place before the project began. With project-based learning, the project is used as the means for propelling the education. Flipping the instruction is another method by which teachers develop a hacked classroom. Flipped instruction means that students select the content and do their learning on their own. Students utilize technological resources to research for their projects on their own. Because of the individual learning is done outside of class time, the teacher is able to facilitate more profound conversations in class to discuss issues students are encountering within their projects. This facility allows the teacher to help students deepen the depth of knowledge and break barriers that they might be facing in their learning. The HACK model provides a structured methodology for teachers to begin to transform their classroom into a blended learning classroom. Its comprehensive approach can take a teacher from using no electronics in the classroom to being able to trust the students with the direction of their own education and utilizing devices fluently and frequently. The HACK model breaks the process down into 4 quadrants where teachers introduce devices and platforms, gradually allowing students to make choices about which platforms to use. Eventually, the students decide content and device usage within the context of student-centered programs and activities. In H, for highly structured, we began the process into a blended learning classroom. In the H classroom, the instruction is highly teacher-directed, but we're moving more toward teacher-facilitated instruction. In the H classroom, we took our first steps by building management and procedures, teaching the students how to access devices, put them away, and how the devices should be used appropriately. With the devices, we began taking activities that are normally done with paper and pencil and replacing them with digital ones. We began building student capacity on their devices with only a few platforms at a time. At this stage, it's important that the students get multiple exposures to the devices so they increase their device fluency. Keep in mind that when students are first using a device or a new platform, the projects they work on should be low rigor. This means that the content of the project is something they already know or is easy for them to grasp. Learning both the platform and rigorous content is overwhelming to students. Start slowly. From highly structured, we move to the A part of the HACK model, which stands for Allowed Choices. After the students build a toolbox of devices and platforms that they're comfortable with, we begin lengthening the digital leash that the students are on. In other words, students begin taking control of their education by choosing the platforms they wish to use to display the learning of a given project. Often the teacher will give them 2 to 3 options of platforms that they can use, that the teacher feels the students can use confidently. As students are offered choices, their intrinsic motivation or buy-in is greater because they're doing what they want to do. When given students a project, it's essential that teachers model the various ways that they might approach the project, as well as display examples of successful projects to them so they have a baseline of what to do. Now that the students are familiar with a number of devices and platforms, the teacher is able to have them work on projects that are more content rigorous. As students move along the A continuum, where they work towards increased fluency in an increasing number of platforms, students can use platforms that they prefer to display their learning. Teachers are sure not to give the same platform options for every project, so the students don't become too dependent on only one or two platforms, but develop and maintain fluency in multiple platforms. With each project that the students work on, it's essential that the teacher give them clear objectives in the form of a rubric, so the students can measure their work to get the desired grade. These rubrics are one of the greatest ways that the students begin to take the reins of their own learning. As with the H classroom, it is essential that exposure to device and platform usage in class be frequent. Students need multiple exposures to build fluency. As we move from allowing the students choices in a structured environment, with a few carefully selected platform options in which they can display their learning, teachers should be careful to note that the culture in the classroom needs to change. This is where the teacher begins to step away from the role as director and put on their facilitator hat. The teachers are able to give their students leeway because of careful and intentional planning to get them to this point. In the C phase, teachers and students have a large toolbox filled with platforms and devices that they're fluent with, and students could easily use a number of different platforms to display their learning. Now, teachers can facilitate through inquiry-based projects and have tremendous flexibility to allow students to do their own learning and display what they've learned in the platforms of their choosing. With device and platform fluency comes an ability to teach more content-rigorous material. To use a metaphor, now that students know how to ride the bicycle, they can focus on completing the obstacle course. Not only can a teacher offer more content-rigorous projects in their own content area, but these projects naturally begin to branch into cross-curricular learning. In a C classroom, technology is a mainstay, and students use their devices to complete a myriad of tasks such as analyze, research, synthesize, evaluate, and create. The novelty of using a device should have worn off by now, as the device has become a learning partner rather than a learning tool. During the A phase, teachers kept some measure of control on student choices by offering a selection of platforms in which they can complete their assignments and model how to be successful with a given project and product. In the C phase, however, students are given more freedom to complete their assignments and projects within the platforms of their choosing. They direct their own learning by deciding how to approach the project, how to show evidence of their learning, and how to meet the demands of the rubric. In this way, a C classroom is more of a student-centered classroom rather than a teacher-directed one. While the C phase is where the classroom should live full-time, teachers should frequently have their students visit the knowledge-centered phase throughout the year by assigning projects that focus on student developing their own knowledge and displaying their learning. C and K phases are often confused with one another because the classroom culture doesn't change much. In both C and K, students are expected to consistently and fluently use their devices and platforms. In both C and K, the teacher acts as a facilitator rather than a director by posing a problem that inspires an inquiry-based project, offers a rubric as a guide to success, and offers supporting advice, feedback, and suggestions along the way. Within knowledge-centered projects, students are fully responsible for their own learning. Projects and assignments should be flexible and broad enough for students to have choice in both content and platform. Projects should take the teacher's learning objectives and allow for students to decide their own path in approaching those objectives. These objectives should be catered to each student's personality and personalize them to the individual student's wants, desires, needs, and passions. In this way, the classroom environment is truly a deep and meaningful learning environment where learning is fueled by students' desires and showcases their capabilities. Quality project-based learning is critical to the success of the hacked classroom. If the classroom is truly hacked, and the students are given the freedom they need to direct their learning, the brick-and-mortar walls of the school should not be able to contain them. In other words, students should be allowed, encouraged, and even expected to stretch their learning into the outside world in appropriate ways. This often can include a meeting with professionals in the field of their interest, attending college seminars, Skype chats with other students who are pursuing similar fields of interest, and so forth. It's essential that students learn how to get expert advice in the field of their study. The traditional definitions of homework and schoolwork shouldn't exist, as students' desires to work on the project of their choosing begin to consume their minds and lives. Working on these projects should naturally include in and out of class work. Collaborative skills as well as interpersonal skills like perseverance will naturally flourish as students work on these projects together. As stated earlier, this type of innovation in our schools will prepare our students for a workplace that depends on ingenuity and adaptability. Students' ability to take ownership of their learning, persevere through large projects, and take initiative of learning choices will be essential traits for the next generation of workers, where creativity and ingenuity reign.